So this morning we had the final big trailer, like the last big push for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I didn't get a chance to see it immediately because I had a lot of stuff going on in the morning, but when I got home, I sat down, watched the trailer a couple of times, and I gotta say, this feels like shades of that Breath of the Wild trailer leading up to the release for the Switch and Breath of the Wild. They played it at the end of that January press event where they showed off all the stuff with the Switch and gave us the date for Breath of the Wild, and it was a very impressive trailer, and Tears of the Kingdom might have actually topped it, and I figured we would sort of go through it here today, and I'd give some of my thoughts with really a lot of stuff happening in this trailer. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you like it, and subscribe if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel as we head towards 700,000 subscribers. So right off the bat, I got the feeling of that Breath of the Wild trailer because of the sweeping shots, and now with Tears of the Kingdom, they have so much more they can show us since we have sort of the sky level as well as the ground level. And again, there seems to be more stuff I'm sure they're not necessarily showing us when it comes to the overall exploration. The nice shot here of Link doing like the serious dive and then eventually flattening out to the title for Tears of the Kingdom right there. Some nice shots of the different villages and towns. We had some of those in Breath of the Wild, but they were few and far between. There was definitely a lot of spaces that were just kind of empty and open. It does seem like they worked to try to populate more of the map. Okay, this is the part that I'm really excited for, and I think a lot of people are, and it looks like they have an actual bad guy that's not necessarily this, like, cloud when you first get there. They introduced Ganon, like, immediately. It's like, hey, you're actually up against a legitimate antagonist. It's a much more intimidating presence, and I really like the way that they're handling that. So we just start getting all kinds of like shots of gameplay. We have the wagon there, so this is kind of cool. And this is something they've shown us already with Ultra Hand, where we're gonna be able to just put things together. I mean, it looks like they built a wagon, which I'm gonna assume this is for a quest of some kind that you get, where you have to like transport people from one place to another, and you go, well, we'll just build a wagon and put people in it. I mean, you can see kind of the green like goo, the kind of the glue around all of that. So I do wonder how far these building Ultra Hand mechanics are going to go if we're able to put wheels and different things, and then also interact with your horse. So a lot to think about there. We have some of the mechanics here with reversing time, even mid-battle, or an attack like that. Big rocket that just takes you up. Kind of some loss of gravity there with a little bit of floating. I got the minecart fights. Underground, by the way, like some lava going on. Love this shot here. Again, the Ultra Hand building mechanic where you're going to go up against a bunch of enemies on their own kind of large titan. You've built one with your Ultra Hand, and you guys are just in this chicken stare down, just this slow charge at each other.
You witness a king's revival.
We get a nice shot of Link and kind of what happened to his arm, which was like also with the Master Sword, which was busted up. There we go. We have our main bad guy. Again, I like this, that it's immediately introduced. They didn't wait for the game to come out. They just say, hey, they must have heard everyone, or a lot of people. It's like, well, we kind of had this ambiguous enemy, you know, when you first get down to the world itself. They're like, oh, there's the bad guy over there, the cloud dragon looking thing flying around the castle. It just didn't hit like we're seeing here with Ganon. That's pretty awesome. That's gonna be interesting to see how he also plays in the story throughout, because it's pretty clear that Link got beaten up pretty good in the beginning. Also, I like the idea of kind of, so we have the older champions. Obviously, if you're going through Breath of the Wild, you go through the Divine Beasts, and you're talking with their spirits from the past and stuff, right? And you're gaining their help, their abilities, their powers even, and the Divine Beasts help at the end of the game. But you sort of see the newer generation of champions, the Descendants here that Link's fighting alongside of, and makes me wonder if maybe the big climax for Tears of the Kingdom, you have the older champions and the newer champions all coming together in one massive fight with Link and Zelda with the Master Sword. I like what I see here, and Nintendo is very good at these kind of trailers, because I saw some people notice this and it hit me right away. There was a part in the trailer where they start playing the original, like it's like kind of a remix of the original Legend of Zelda theme. And obviously, the idea of Breath of the Wild stems from that first Zelda game that had a lot more freedom to it. So to kind of pay homage to that with a remix here in the trailer of that theme is a really cool idea.
Okay, let's go! But you are not alone.
Link. You are our final hope.
I mean, this is the trailer they needed for the game. A lot of us were already looking at the game from a gameplay side, that the mechanics that they were able to showcase to us, which were interesting. Like, there were a lot of possibilities that we're thinking of with things like Ultra Hand, Ascend, going from the sky to the ground level seamlessly, skydiving, maybe even having mid-air fights that we haven't been shown yet. But to be able to give us an idea and a glimpse at a lot of out-of-context shots, sure, but that's what they did with Breath of the Wild, with their big climactic trailer on the lead-up to the launch of the game. That's what we needed, I would say, because there's just been so many questions around how they are going to approach the story for another open-ended Zelda game. And this, to me, from what they're showing here, again, out-of-context clips, we'll have to see how the actual story lines up as we play through the game. It looks like it's better than Breath of the Wild, just from what they've shown. And a lot of it even comes down to the big bad Ganon being there and actually in form right away. Very intimidating, obviously kind of slapping a Link around there from what we see in the beginning, making a big deal about him being there, basically bow down, witness the great revival, the rebirth. It's good stuff. I am really happy this trailer turned out this way, because I was already excited for Tears of the Kingdom, but this kind of took my hype to the next level. Again, I am playing through Breath of the Wild again right now, and I'm wrapping up the 4th Divine Beast. I'm basically mainlining it, and I haven't had that connection necessarily with the game like I did when it first came out, which is like, oh, this is really, really cool. That was like 2017. Things have changed quite a bit since then, and I got to give them credit. It looks like they listened, and I don't want to say went back to the drawing board, because yeah, it still has similarities clearly to Breath of the Wild, the art style, the world from what we understand, some mechanics like the paragliding, but it just seems like they realized we got the gameplay and the world structure figured out. Let's go to the next level with things like the story. So exciting stuff. I'm ready, and it's a month away, and I'll be there day one. And I think what we'll do is an initial play of the game for an hour or two, and I'll give you guys some of my early game thoughts on what's going on with the different mechanics. And it's pretty clear most people are probably going to pick this game up, especially if they enjoyed or even played a bit of Breath of the Wild. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below with this final trailer. Was this enough to put things over the top for you, and are you picking it up day one? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.